Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is time for El Dorado Bronco baseball on a beautiful Wednesday night here in El Dorado, Kansas. Tonight, the Broncos at home to take on the Derby Twins. I'm Kurt Caden, and glad to have you tuned in tonight for El Dorado versus Derby here, the second to the last broadcast, home game for El Dorado. And we look forward to bringing you all the action tonight with the video and the audio. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. The batting order for Derby: Noah Bland, who just arrived for Derby. He'll lead off. Tyler Mendoza, Colton Eager, Marcus Page, Houston Parker, Torrin Craig, Aaron Belaurier, Zach Smith, and Ruben Mercado. That's the batting order for Derby. For El Dorado in the field tonight, Jordan Anstandig is in left, Pete Caravala in center, Austin Toth is in right. John Sorensen is over at third, Caleb Littlejim at shortstop. The second baseman tonight is Tucker Catlett. Maddox Solomon, is at first. Aaron Mack is behind the plate tonight. And pitching is Frank Souza. First pitch swinging is Bland, a fly ball to right. Toth runs it down just inside of the fair line down the first base side. So one pitch, one out. Tyler Mendoza, the third baseman, will bat second here for the Twins. And the first pitch from Souza, gas a little bit upstairs, ball one. Our first pitch temperature tonight, 89 degrees. It feels like 98. We will have a heat advisory tomorrow. Going to get a lot warmer tomorrow. Mendoza fouls this over the right side. That will end up in the parking lot and a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Mendoza. Still very humid here in Kansas. Dew point, again, when you have dew points between 60 and 90, it's fairly uncomfortable. And tonight our dew point's at 74, the humidity at 61%. Chance for maybe some overnight rain. That seems to be the case here lately. We've been getting, at least down an hour south of here, late night rain. Here's a slow tapper to Littlejim. This is going to be a tough play. No way to get him. That'll be a infield single for Mendoza. There was no chance, even though Littlejim had it roll out of his glove. He wasn't going to throw out Mendoza. So an infield single. Hello, Mark Solomon, ready for some Broncos baseball. Me too. Broncos took on these Twins last night and fell behind early. It was 7-0 after, 2 or 3 innings? After 2 innings. And El Dorado, at least according to what I heard, here's a fly ball left field. It's slicing into foul territory, and Anstandig makes a catch up against the wall, tagging and getting to second base as Mendoza, who nearly came off the bag. Catlett kept the tag on, but it is Colton Eager fouling out on the left field side. Well, I'll tell you what, Anstandig was running hard. I was afraid we're going to have a collision with the fence that separates the El Dorado bullpen with left field. But Jordan made the catch. Heady base running, though, by Mendoza to get to second. Here's Marcus Page. Right-handed batter is Page. And the curveball is hit towards third. Sorensen has it on one hop. His throw is way over the head of Solomon, and a run will score. Page will go to second. That will be an error, a 2-base error on Sorensen. Boy, that one right out of his hand. There was no chance Maddox was going to climb that ladder. Coming around to score is Mendoza. And so, again, how important was that tagging up from first to second there? Very important play there for the Twins. That ball to Sorensen, he had a notion of going to tag Mendoza, who then stopped in between second and third. And John just fired over to first, but way high. So 1-0 Derby, and here's Houston Parker, the catcher. Right-handed batter against right-handed pitching Frank Souza, the pitch. And that one's fouled out of play. Frank Souza, this is his second start for El Dorado. He's got 4 innings of work under his belt. And he was pretty good. He gave up 4 hits. Yeah, that's right. From Rose State, right? Rose State is where Sousa's from. This one's off the end of the bat over to Little Jim at short. Quick throw over to first, and they get Parker. But a single and an error. Heady base running by Tyler Mendoza. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Great to have you tuned in tonight. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. And let's take a look at tonight's batting order for El Dorado and the defense by the Derby Twins. For El Dorado tonight, Caleb Littlejim leads off, Jordan Anstandig second, Tanner Sheets third, John Sorensen bats fourth, Maddox Solomon fifth, and Aaron Mack sixth. Pete Caravala will bat seventh, Tucker Catlett eighth, and Austin Toth will bat ninth. For the Derby Twins out in the field, in the outfield, it's Aaron Belaurier in left field, Noah Bland in center, and Colton Eager is in right. Around the infield, Tyler Mendoza is at third base. The shortstop is Torrin Craig. Ruben Mercado is at second base, and Marcus Page is over at first. Houston Parker will catch tonight for Derby and pitching a side armor, Ian Fisher. And here's Caleb Littlejim. If you listened to the broadcast last night, you thought pitcher Gabe Littlejim took over there because Gabe did not bat last night. It was all Caleb. So Caleb Littlejim leading off for the Broncos here on a beautiful Wednesday early evening, and a side-arm pitch is a little bit up and a little bit in, 1-0. Try to get a little more of the field in my shot here. Caleb Littlejim hits it out into right field. Tough sun out there, but underneath it and the catch by Colton Eager for the first out. So one away, and that'll bring up Jordan Anstandig. Gary Carr, our marvelous statistician, who's got categories inside of categories, came up with an interesting number that Jordan Anstandig, in his last 10 chances to move a runner. Here's the first pitch, and that one's hit out to second base, and it'll be one pitch and one out. Jordan was supposed to stay up there a little longer. But Jordan has moved runners 7 out of the last 10 times. Now, that could be a sacrifice. That could be a sac bunt, sac fly. It could be a base hit. Could be an infield ground out that moves runners. But he has done it 7 out of his last 10 times. That's a great stat. You don't hear those kind of numbers or that kind of stat, but it's very important, obviously, to play winning baseball. Tanner Sheets standing in and looks at a first pitch ball. And I got some news today from Donald Sheets. Here comes the 1-0 to Tanner, and that one's in there for a strike. He's looking. He knows I'm trying to say something about him here, and so he's going to help me out, I think. That pitch is fouled off. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. West Texas A&M, is that right? West Texas A&M. Pitch is missing, 2-2. West Texas A&M is where Tanner Sheets will be playing next year. We wish him the best. Hope to see him here again next year. 2-2. Outside, 3-2. 2 away for El Dorado. Bottom of the first inning. Derby 1, El Dorado 0. After the one pitch out, how many to Little Jim? Just a couple pitches to Caleb. Fisher was working on a very efficient inning. Now Tanner Sheets works at full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch, and tap towards the right side. The first baseman will take it. It's a race between Sheets and Fisher, and Sheets wins that race. Really tough play. Little indecision on the right side. The second baseman, Mercado, was coming over. Page waited a moment, realized Fisher wasn't going to be able to glove it. Fisher tried to race it to first, and Tanner Sheets, who always runs hard, made it to first base. So an infield single. Well, that's how Derby got their action going in the first inning with an infield single by Mendoza. 2 away, and here's John Sorensen, the third baseman. A look up over at Tanner Sheets, and he's back in. Tanner Sheets, 13 of 15 stealing bases this summer. Fisher has his sign. He's at the belt and the pitch. Sheets on the move. Sorensen had a good pitch, but he fouled it straight back. Ian Fisher is from Mary University. He's from Evanston, Wyoming, 5'10", 170. And the 0-1, and just missed the corner. Good pitch there by Fisher. 1 ball and 1 strike. So a ball and a strike here to Sorensen, and a throwback to first, and Sheets is back in safely. Tenth game for Ian Fisher. Throwback over to first. Close play. Sheets in there. Fisher's, this is his first start tonight. 10 appearances, 19 innings of work. He's given up 9 runs, 8 of them earned. 9 walks, 15 strikeouts. He's got a 3.72 ERA. Sorensen pops this one foul, and he comes into tonight's action with a record of 0-1. Saving some arms. Big series for Derby coming up at Liberal. A very big series. We'll take a look at the standings here. Certainly a disappointing loss for Bronco fans last night. And Sheets is on the move. Outside pitch. Here's Sheets sliding in. That ball ends up in center field. And Tanner will stay there as Bland was anticipating that. So a stolen base for Tanner Sheets, his 14th. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Sorensen. Parker had a good pitch to throw on. It just sailed on him. And now Torrin Craig will linger near Tanner Sheets. Of course, with the lefty up there, Craig can shade that way anyway. Now he goes back to his position in the pitch, and Sorensen is well out in front and hooks this one into the parking lot. John Sorensen, a .284 hitter this summer, 20 runs driven in. And the pitch from Fisher. And Sorensen again fouls it off. So the Bronco hitters battling here with Ian Fisher. Sheets off of second, 2 away for El Dorado. They've camouflage tops tonight with the white pants. Here's the pitch. And Sorensen a swing and a miss. So no runs, a hit, 1 left. And after an inning of play here in El Dorado, it's Derby 1 and El Dorado 0. More play-by-play in a moment. You're watching and listening to El Dorado Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Well, we certainly do have fantastic parents, as the first pitch to Torrin Craig from Frank Souza is in there for a strike. Jordan Anstandig's father, Jason, sent me a photo. Here's the 0-1 and hit hard right at third. Sorensen with a diving grab to his feet. The throw is on target in the first out. Nice play by John Sorensen. Craig hit it well. Good sound off the bat there, but a nice play by Sorensen at third. Here's Aaron Bellorier, left fielder, batting seventh in the lineup for the Twins. Right-handed batter and the pitch, and that one just misses 1-0. But Jason Anstandig, with Bronco baseball coming on, decided to come in from the lake. So he sent a picture of him out on the lake. Beautiful day up in Michigan. But instead of staying out on the lake as the sun goes down, postcard stuff like photo ops, Jason's coming in to watch and listen to Bronco baseball. Dedication. Right? Oops. Hey, let me show you. Dylan Zenzel's up here. Here's the pitch outside. Look at that action. A little taste of home right there, isn't it? Dylan Zenzel. Michigan guy. Do you cheer for the Detroit Lions? You do? Well, huh? That's their tagline, One Pride? Three balls and a strike, and that one a little bit low, and a walk to Bellorier. Dylan Zenzel says the Lions are going to make the playoffs this year. Now, you know, I'm a Minnesota fan, so of course. Well, I'm going to donate mine to Gary. So here is Zach Smith. He's DHing tonight, right-handed batter. And the first pitch from Souza popped up on the infield. It's drifting into foul territory. Little Jim calls off Sorensen, I think. Sorensen took off. And then Caleb may have stumbled a bit, then regathered himself, looked up, and makes the catch in foul territory. Easier play for the shortstop drifting over than the third baseman. Tell you what, double, yeah, I'd love it, but it dries out my mouth when I'm talking. But I appreciate it. I needed it before the game started. Freddy's Frozen Custard is sponsoring tonight again. This is the second time this year. Here's a ball that went out of, Mac was expecting a steal, and Bellorier was not going, and Mac took his eye off it, popped in his glove, and popped out of it, and so Bellorier will take second. Yeah, usually, well, in the past, Freddy's is usually set up before I go on air. And so I wolfed down some frozen custard before broadcast. There's the pitch. That's high and in. Unfortunately, they've done it twice this summer. But each time they've done it this summer, they've set up as the game is starting. So Gary Carr keeps getting my custard here, but that's okay. It's the least I can do for the piles of information Gary supplies me and makes me sound somewhat knowledgeable here every night. I do appreciate that. Otherwise, it'd be a lot of dead air. 2 balls and a strike here. This is Ruben Mercado, the second baseman. 2 away for Derby. On the move is Bellorier. Throw down to third, and bouncing in and sliding in safely is Bellorier. Got a good jump. That pitch was a ball, and it is 3-1. Is that right? 3-1 to Mercado. Noah Bland, the leadoff batter, waiting on deck for Derby. They lead 1-0 here in the top of the second. A 3-1 from Souza, the pitch. And that one's shot into right field. That will get down, and a big 2-out single by Ruben Mercado, and that gives the Twins a 2-0 lead. It wasn't necessarily a rocket, but it was placed beautifully and went with that outside pitch. Good piece of hitting there by Ruben Mercado. So a 2-0 Twins lead, and here's Noah Bland, who on the first pitch from Souza flew out to right field where Austin Toth is hanging out. Open stance from Bland. The pitch is on the outside corner for strike one. Frank Souza, right-handed pitcher, takes a look over at Mercado. And the 0-1. Mercado's on the move. Bland lays down a bunt. So many times this summer when Gary and I have figured it's time to sacrifice, we've seen guys look like they're trying to bunt for a hit. Now with 2 outs in a situation where it looks like you should bunt for a hit, that looked like a sacrifice. Gary, we're still learning. Still figuring this game out. 9-7-5. No, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and Bland hits this a ton out to left field. That's going deep, and Standig looks up. It is gone. Bland, who just squared to bunt in his first game with the Twins this summer. His second at bat dials long distance. Two RBIs for Bland, and boy, just like last night, the Twins jumping on El Dorado early, and it's 4-0 Derby. This damage being done with 2 outs. Mercado's 2-out single, followed by Bland's 2-out, 2-run homer. Here's Tyler Mendoza. And that pitch slips out of the hand of Souza, sails over the catcher Aaron Mack's head and to the backstop. Souza's got his sign. Base is empty. Here's the 1-0 and a good cut by Mendoza, but a foul tip, 1-1. Derby's got their maroon tops, yellow numerals, white trim, gray pants. I do always like, not many do it, but I'm looking at Tyler Mendoza at the plate. He's got the high stirrups. He's got the pants up, and there's a check swing foul right on the hands. Love when the stirrups are like that. Most guys like to have the pant leg down to their shoe tops. Here's the 1-2. Fastball outside, 2-2. I don't know when that changed either. It used to be 60s, 70s, 80s. Everyone pulled their pants up to their knees and they had their stirrups exposed, and you had to make sure you had the right socks. Now, really, I guess you could wear any sock, really. Pitch in the turf, 3-2. But every now and then you'll see some players. I don't see any El Dorado. Well, out in center, Pete Carvalho. I'm not sure if those are stirrups or just the black socks underneath there. He's got his pants pulled up to his knees. The 3-2 bounce towards third. Sorensen has it on a couple of hops, fires over to first, and they get Mendoza. But damage done by the Twins, and a lot of damage with 2 outs. They score 3 times, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. Derby 4, El Dorado 0. So the Broncos with work to do, down 4-0, but a lot of time to do it. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Maddox Solomon, Aaron Mack, Pete Carvalho, the scheduled three for El Dorado. Against Ian Fisher, and the first pitch to Solomon inside, ball one. Maddox Solomon, batting .262 this summer. 33 hits, 126 at bats. 4 doubles, 7 homers. And he hits this one in the hole between third and short. That goes into left field, a base hit for Maddox Solomon. And that'll bring up Aaron Mack. Solomon's bat ends up halfway to first base. I'm not sure if he held onto it and then rolled it away. Bad boy has a little more work to do on that retrieval. And here's Aaron Mack. Ethan Payne played last night. Aaron Mack tonight behind the plate. And the first pitch outside, ball one. I wanted to come to Ethan Payne's defense. Last night, he was being referred to as the backup catcher. I don't know if there's a 1 or a 2. They just kind of... he's batting, and it's been my experience in my 4 years broadcasting games that teams carry 2 to 3 catchers because the heat in July, you can't expect a catcher in what's supposed to be maybe their off time to catch more than 2 or 3 nights in a row. You don't see that. It's just not safe. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos, I don't know if there is a 1 or a 2 at catcher. They're both batting pretty nicely. Here's Mack, got into one, popped it down the right side, giving chase is Eager. It'll stay in play, and Eager makes the catch. Solomon tagging, good throw by Eager, and it got through the shortstop's glove. So, boy, that was almost Colton Eager's on his knees in the bullpen to make that catch running towards the fence, catch it, and then fire a strike, an absolute strike to second base. And Torrin Craig, he's got his hands on his hips. He knows he wanted that one. Looks like they're he and Mercado having a good conversation over there at second because that was a heck of a play by Eager. But it turns out to be a smart base running play for Maddox Solomon. And here's Pete Carvalho, and he hits it right up the middle, a base hit. Solomon to third. Bland comes up, and he will throw it home. Solomon will score, and the throw is cut off, and it's 4-1. Pete Carvalho with an RBI single for El Dorado. And I don't know the arm strength of Bland. I know Derby has a 4-0 lead, but I thought Bland had it in his glove as Solomon hit third. I thought we might have a play at the plate, but, cut it off. You keep the runner at first. It's not a bad play either. Here's Tucker Catlett. And he fouls off the first offering from Ian Fisher. So 4-1 in favor of Derby. Be curious how long Fisher goes. Again, this is his 10th game, and he's pitched 19 innings this summer. So generally, on average, it looks like he goes about an inning or 2 for Derby, and always in relief. This is his first start. Maybe they try to stretch him out, try to get 4 or 5 out of him tonight. Again, Derby has a big weekend series at Liberal. Here comes the 0-1. That's outside 1-1. The Broncos have a 4-game series at Dodge City, but they're going to play 1 9-inning game Friday, 2 7-inning games Saturday, and a 9-inning finale on Sunday. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. So 2 really big series for these teams here in South Central Kansas going to Western Kansas. Derby's got a little longer drive than El Dorado. The 1-2 to Tucker Catlett. Off of first is Carvalho, the pitch. That's outside, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch, Catlett just stuck a bat on there, and Page runs out of room as it gets out of play. Good emergency swing there by Catlett. A really nice pitch by Ian Fisher. Tucker Catlett finished his time at Cloud County. He is heading to Doane University, Crete, Nebraska. He's out of Lincoln. 5'10", 180. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here, and the pitch to Catlett. And Catlett hits it good out into left center field. That'll split him. Here's Caravallo around second. Catlett on his way to second, and he will slide in safely. Runners at second and third. Tucker Catlett with a double. 4th double of the summer for Catlett. And Austin Toth comes up for El Dorado. So runners at second and third. 4-1 in favor of Derby, but El Dorado threatening. Tell you what, another good outfield throw there by Derby. That throw in from the left field, Belaurier, was right on the base. The tag, as Catlett popped up, came on his helmet there. He'd gotten in, but it was a little closer than I thought it was going to be. That pitch to Toth out of the zone, 1-0. Austin Toth, a .250 hitter this summer, 17 out of 68. And of those 17 hits, he has 1 double. Austin's driven in 12. Here's the 1-0. Toth hits it towards short. That'll get a run home. Craig has it over to first to retire Toth, but a productive out for El Dorado. And RBI. Caravallo comes in to score. Catlett moves to third. And here's Caleb Littlejim. And the Broncos have trimmed it in half. It's 4-2. Littlejim flew out to right field his first time, and that pitch started at the hip and then broke in, but not enough. 1-0. Down at third is Tucker Catlett. 2 away for El Dorado here in the bottom of the second inning. And the pitch, Littlejim hits it to short. Craig's got it on a couple of hops, gets momentum. Nice strong throw to first, and that will retire the side. But the Broncos do strike a couple of times. 2 runs, 3 hits. 1 left, and we go to the third. It's Derby 4, El Dorado 2. We move to the top of the third inning. Great to have so many of you out there watching and listening. Thank you, Rick Allen, for joining in. And I agree with you. First pitch is high, 1-0 to Colton Eager. Eager flew out to left field. That was that play by Jordan Anstandig in foul territory. And Eager going that way again. This is in fair territory, but a little easier play for Jordan as he comes in and puts it away for the first out. We were talking about that catch by Anstandig as he was going really full steam. Made the catch, didn't crash into the fence. And Grandma Donna Hershey said the fence would lose if Jordan crashed into it. Probably so. Jordan's one of those, I think you could roll him around, crash him into fences, and he'd come back ticking. What was the old, was it Timex? Takes a licking and keeps on ticking? Or don't see many of those ads anymore. A first pitch strike to Marcus Page. Page reached on an air back in the first, hits this one to Sorensen. He'll get another chance. Has his momentum going the right way. Good strong throw, and Page is retired. So 2 quick outs for the Bronco defense. That'll bring up Houston Parker. Parker grounded out to short his first time. Houston Parker from Saltillo, Mississippi, goes to Meridian Community College, 5'9", 185. This is his 19th game for Derby. As pitch a swing and a miss over the top of that curve, strike one. Parker hitting at a 339 clip. 19 for 56. Couple doubles, a triple, and a homer. 1-1. Boy, in this day and age, numbers like this you don't see. He's walked 14 times, struck out 8. More walks than strikeouts. Just don't see that anymore. Good eye by the catcher. This one's hit sharply, but right at Little Jim. He's gotten the glove over to first. And a routine third for Frank Souza and the Broncos. 3 up, 3 down on 7 pitches. We go to the bottom of the third. Derby 4, El Dorado 2. Bottom of the third inning here from El Dorado. 2-3-4 coming up for the Broncos, and this is Jordan and Standig. Grounded out to second base on a 1-pitch, 1-out at bat. Jordan and Standig, so fun to watch this year. 5'7", 160, West Bloomfield, Michigan. And he faces Ian Fisher here in the third, and the first pitch caught the corner for strike one. And Standig, tell you what, Gary, I remember looking at these stats, and Jordan was down there at the bottom as far as batting average, and now Jordan is up to 250. He's been coming on strong here for the Broncos. 1 ball and 1 strike. 24 out of 96 for Jordan. 20 walks, 25 strikeouts. And a little off speed outside, ball 2. For a long time, Jordan was leading the team in being walked. He's been tied. Pete Caravala, his Alma Scott teammate, also has 20 walks this summer. Outside 3-1. Well, no matter what happens the rest of the way, I'll tell you what, coaches at Alma College in Michigan should be quite proud of what Jared Coyne and Pete Caravala and Jordan Anstandig and Dylan Zenzel on the Hill, what they have done this summer, what they've brought to El Dorado. And Jordan takes the walk lead from Pete Carvalho with that walk. Good eye by Jordan and Standig. So here comes Tanner Sheets. Gary Carr doesn't say it often, but he has a good feeling here with Tanner Sheets. We'll see. Sheets singled and stole a base his first time. Boy, did he have a rip there. A swing and a miss. Strike one. If he would have connected there, we would have said, Gary, where are you keeping that crystal ball up here in the warm press box tonight? Maybe it was that Freddy's Frozen Custard that gave him divine thinking or something. Brennan, did you and Dylan, you guys get some Freddy's? Oh, yeah. There's perks to being up here in the press box. Is the AC on, though? I don't even think the AC's on tonight. Brady Tackett's over there, too. I've been forgetting Brady. He's stuck behind Leroy there. There he is. 1-1 pitch, and Sheets looking to go the other way. Fouls this one out of play, and it's 1-2. 8-3 loss last night for the Broncos. So we take a look at the standings here after this 1-2 pitch from Ian Fisher. He's got his sign. Modest lead off of first for Anstandig. And the pitch outside, 2-2. The Hayes Larks, it's interesting. They're 23-6. Their magic number to win the title is 3. I mean, they're going to do it. We have 7 teams in our league, so they've played, the other 6. They have 6 losses. 2 of those 6 losses have come to El Dorado. And the Broncos could have had 2 more against them. Lost an extra inning game and lost a real tight one on the getaway day at Hayes. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sheets. The pitch, Sheets hits it up the middle off the mound. What a play at second by Mercado, but he couldn't get it out of his glove. But that is a fantastic play. That's a base hit for Tanner Sheets. So we celebrate the hit by Sheets. We celebrate great defense there by Mercado. Didn't have anything to show for it except for just a wonderful diving play behind second. So 2 on and no out. And here's John Sorensen, a strikeout victim his first time. He did. You're right. Probably Anstand. Although Bland plays a fairly shallow center field. We're going to get a mound visit. The Derby bullpen is working. Bland, that would have been interesting if it had gotten through, if Anstandig would have tried to go first to third, but we'll never know. And then we're going to get a change of pitchers. I think you're exactly right. We'll tell you about the new pitcher here in a moment. Ian Fisher's night is done. 4-2 in favor of Derby. You're watching and listening to Bronco Baseball here on YouTube. The new pitcher for the Derby Twins is Jesse Schmidt, 6'2", 185, South Mountain Community College. He's from Queen Creek, Arizona. I cannot remember a year where I've seen more players. Derby has a lot of them, but I've seen people from other teams from Queen Creek, Arizona. A lot of them. It must be a hotbed for baseball players. For Ian Fisher, the runners on base are his responsibility. He goes 2+ innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs to this point, both earned. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And Schmidt will come in with some work to do for sure. This is his 11th game this summer. 22 innings of work. He's given up 2 earned runs. Strikeout guy, 8 walks, 26 strikeouts. He has a .81 ERA. This guy has been lights out for Derby, and he comes in here in the 2nd inning. John Sorensen stands in for El Dorado. Power on power, wouldn't you think here, Gary? Schmidt, watching his warm-ups, really popping the glove of Houston Parker. John Sorensen, we've seen him go deep off some real good fastball pitchers this summer, and he's looking to bunt, and a curveball is in there for a strike. How about that? Nonstop gas during the warm-ups, and he starts Sorensen with a hook. No balls and 1 strike. Page over at first in front of the runner Sheets. And at third, Mendoza stays back, and Sorensen squares, punts it down to the pitcher Schmidt, who goes to third, and it's over the third baseman's head. Here comes Anstandig to score. Tanner Sheets running hard. Here he comes. The throw coming home. Safe. And to second base is John Sorensen. This game is tied at 4, and that will probably be an error. So Sorensen will get credit for a sacrifice bunt. It'll be an probably E1. It was catchable, but it was high. So, no RBIs, but 2 runs in. No errors last night by Derby against the Broncos, so that's our first error against El Dorado this week. And here's Maddox Solomon and the pitch. And that is lifted into foul territory, and that will just sneak over the fence for a strike. So those runs go on the ledger of Ian Fisher, 4 runs, but we'll have to wait and see. Are they all earned, or do we have to wait and see on that, Gary? See how this inning progresses to see if those are earned runs. Here comes an 0-1 to Maddox Solomon. Singleton scored his first time. The pitch and a check swing foul. And what we mean by that, as Gary is an expert at figuring out earned run average and whatnot, if Schmidt retires the next 3 in order, then those runs are unearned. But if the next 2 guys get hits or something, then they become earned because they would have scored anyway. I'm learning. Sheets scored from first base. I was going to say, no surprise the way Tanner plays this game. Here's the 0-2, and Solomon hits it into left field, a base hit. And I'm not sure if it's deep enough. It's not to score Sorensen, but now runners at first and third. Still nobody out here in the Bronco third. And here's Aaron Mack. Schmidt, in 22 innings this summer, has given up only 15 hits coming in. Going back to that sack by Sorensen, I think Schmidt made the right play. I mean, the play was at third. It was there to be had if he throws a strike to Mendoza. And a good fastball just off the corner, 1-0. Derby with a team ERA of 4.53. The 1-0, and outside 2-0. Maddox Solomon over at first, not taking a big lead. Really don't want to take any chances here. Runners at first and third with nobody out. 2 are in for El Dorado. They've tied this game after Derby took a 4-0 lead going into the bottom of the second. We're in the bottom of the third right now. 2 balls and no strikes to Mack, the pitch. And Mack got a good pitch to hit, and he drills it to right over the wall. Home run, Aaron Mack. A no-doubter to right. And those runs are going to be earned for Ian Fisher and Aaron Mack with the homer. And for Mack, it's his first home run this summer, the 29th home run for the Broncos. El Dorado leads 7-4. Wow. You know, I mean, if any of you out there watching, listening, have been to any major league game or any games where they use wooden bats, I've been talking about this all summer. There's just a certain, when you hear it, you don't really have to be even looking. You can just tell it's probably going a long way. And that had that crack, a curveball strike to Pete Caravala. The first 5 up this inning have scored for El Dorado, 7-4 Broncos. And the pitch from Schmidt outside, 1-1. Schmidt really good control this summer. 22 innings of work, 8 walks. That's not too shabby. Very good stuff there. So a ball and a strike here to Caravala. The wind and the pitch, that's hit towards second base, and Mercado has it over to first, and the first out is recorded. So here comes Tucker Catlett, who doubled to left center field his first time. That moved Pete Caravala to third. Broncos had second and third, and then Toth had a ground out RBI that scored Caravala. Catlett ended up being stranded at third. Nice curveball in there for a strike to Catlett. It's 0-1. The 0-1, fastball high, 1-1. Turf infield here at McDonald Stadium, grass outfield. And it's interesting looking at the center fielder Bland. He's expecting Catlett to go to right field. He is over on the second base side of center field. You can see where generally the outfielders stand. There's some worn out areas, and Bland isn't anywhere close to it against this right-handed hitter, Tucker Catlett. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch from Schmidt, and Catlett bounces it foul. El Dorado heads to Dodge on Friday, Gary, I'm guessing, on Friday, so a day off tomorrow. And the pitch, and a good pitch, a swing and a miss by Catlett. The out has to be recorded at first, and it is. So 2 away, and here comes Austin Toth. Austin Toth 0 for 1 with an RBI. Invite you to join in on our chat. Hello, Donna Hershey, who's emailed me and joined in on the chat. You can do both. cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com if you like. Always like seeing those photos of how you're watching the game. Always fun to see a first pitch strike to Toth. And a second pitch strike, 0-2 to Toth. And Schmidt getting into a little groove now. No balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch is bouncing in 1-2. Sixth meeting this season between these teams. El Dorado has won 2 of 3 at Derby. Derby's won 2 games here, and Toth hits it out into left center field, and that is going to drop in the gap. Toth around first on his way to second with a 2-out double. I don't know if either outfielder saw it great. I didn't see any of them really sprinting. That's right. Bland was playing shading towards right field. That's exactly right. I should listen to what I'm saying, Gary. So a double by Toth, and the 9th batter of the inning, Caleb Littlejim. His 3rd at bat in as many innings. He's 0 for 2. 5 have scored for El Dorado. They lead 7-4 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Already 8 hits for the Broncos, and Littlejim looks at a curveball that dives down low, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. The pitch is just missing, 2-0. So a 2-0 here to Caleb Little Jim. And the pitch is bounced towards third, and getting it on the big hot is Mendoza, makes it an easier play over to first and retires Little Jim. But what an inning for El Dorado. They score 5 times on 4 hits. There was an error, a big error, and 1 left. We go to the 4th inning. It's Broncos 7, Twins 4. Torrin Craig will lead it off for Derby here in the top of the 4th inning. Squares and looks at a first pitch strike from Frank Souza. For the first time tonight, Souza out on the hill with the lead. Derby scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second, led 4-0. El Dorado with 2 in the bottom of the second. They shut out Derby, a good 1-2-3 inning by Souza in the third, and then 5 scored for the Broncos in the bottom of the third. A 1-1 pitch to Craig is low, 2-1. Off day tomorrow. 4 games at Dodge, Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday, and then Monday back here against the Hayesville Aviators. Fastball in there, strike 2. Off day next Tuesday, and a week from tonight, El Dorado will wrap up the regular season at Hayesville. And the 2-2, low, 3-2. Mentioned Hayes, so they're 23-6, leading the league by 5.5. Liberal and Dodge City are 17-11. And playing each other? Here's a high fly ball out to Pete Caravala. Started back, coming in, and makes the catch. Yeah, in fact, that game is going to be played at the Liberal City Field. Brent Gould is still too wet, so they're playing at the City Field in Liberal. Saw that posted earlier today. I don't either. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 1 from Aaron Belaurier. So a big game tonight with Liberal and Dodge, and Liberal usually posts some updates. I'll try to keep you up to date on that. No balls and a strike. And that one in the turf, 2-0. Or, 1-1. The Derby Twins are 17-14, currently in 4th place in our league, 7 out of 1st, but only a game and a half out of 2nd. And the curveball low, 3-0. So it just goes to show how important, we'll start with Derby, how important this game here tonight. A win, and they will pick up a game on either Liberal or Dodge, whoever loses. 2 balls and a strike. Outside, 3-1. Shift our focus to the Broncos. They are 13-16, 10 out of 1st. But let's see, only 3 games behind Derby for 4th, and 4.5 games behind Liberal and Dodge. And a check swing, he did go, 3-2. Which again for El Dorado, very important to get a win here tonight, stay close to Derby, and then 4 rather large games with Dodge City, which will determine a lot after Sunday. And this one's hit out into center field. Caravala getting under it and makes the catch. So 2 flyouts to Pete, and there's 2 away. Derby, a win tonight for Derby. They would win the season series, and they would own a tiebreaker against El Dorado. Squaring to bunt, it goes low, and ball 1 to Zach Smith, the DH. Zach Smith coming in a .278 hitter tonight, 25 out of 90. That's in there for a strike. Of his 25 hits, he's got 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers. Outside, 2-1 from Frank Souza. Derby's bullpen is cranking again. Looks like Hunter Moody is down there warming up. Here comes a 2-1, and that one's hit sharply into left center field. And then between the outfielders on his way to second is Smith. He'll have a stand-up double with 2 away. And here's Ruben Mercado. Mercado 1 for 1 tonight, singled and scored in the second inning. A big 2-out single by Mercado. He placed it right out in right field. Mercado, 5'11", 170. And first pitch swinging, hits it to Little Jim, gets a room service bounce over to first, and Mercado is retired. So the 2-out double doesn't hurt Frank Souza. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. El Dorado 7, Derby 4. Jordan Anstandig will lead it off, and he led off last inning with a walk, eventually scored, and that started a 5-run third inning for the Broncos. Hello to Amy and Rich Payne, the proud parents of Ethan Payne. First pitch in there for a strike. Watching and listening out in sunny California. They say a big thanks to Ethan's host mom, Christy, and all the great people here in El Dorado. A lot of good folks making things happen every year here to keep baseball, summer baseball here in El Dorado. A lot of good sponsors, obviously. 2-1. Unbelievable host families. You know, the old saying, it takes a community to raise a good kid. Well, certainly when they're out here. It's Jordan Anstandig, a leadoff single out to center field. So thank you for the email, Amy and Rich. We've certainly enjoyed Ethan Payne's work this year. Not in the lineup tonight. Never know. He may get out there. Tanner Sheets, all he's done tonight is go 2 for 2 with a run scored and a stolen base. And the first pitch fastball low, 1-0. And Tanner hits it out into right field. Another hit. He's 3 for 3. That might have broke his bat, but he'll take it. It's a single. Sheets 3 for 3, and the first 2 are aboard for El Dorado here in the 4th. And on cue, I got an email from Donald Sheets with a score update. Dodge and Liberal tied at 1 in the 5th inning. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Doing a lot of scoreboard watching here in the last week or two. Here's John Sorensen. And boy, did he have a good cut, fouled it straight back. It was Sorensen in this exact same position last inning, laid down a bunt that was fielded by the then new pitcher Schmidt, who fired to third and was too tall for Mendoza, and that scored 2 runs. El Dorado is 8 for 11 in moving runners tonight. That will make Gary Carr a much happier man up here. We've seen it the other way this year. We've had some nights where I think there was a 1 for 21 with runners in scoring position stretch for El Dorado. But, in a long summer of baseball, you're going to have peaks and valleys. Here's an 0-2 to Sorensen. And a good 0-2 by Schmidt. Just left it on the outside of the plate, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch. And Sorensen got well under that, fouled it. It's in foul territory, but coming over his page, and he'll make the catch. John was way out in front of that one. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Maddox Solomon, who is also 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of runs scored as well. Seven for El Dorado, bottom of the 4th. And the pitch to Maddox Solomon is on the corner for a strike. Maddox didn't love it. He'll step out for a moment. Center fielder Bland playing back where most of the outfielders seem to position themselves. In fact, shading a little bit towards the pull side against Maddox Solomon here. Here's the 0-1 and caught the corner again, and another the same reaction from Maddox Solomon, and it's 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Well, for Solomon now, he knows where they're going to call it. He's going to have to reach out and try to spoil him if Schmidt goes there again. Why wouldn't he? Here comes an 0-2. And that one's a little further outside, 1-2. I used to get under the umpire's skin on that. I got a couple of calls like that. On that one, I would have looked right back at the umpire to make sure he was calling a ball, and they never liked that. Here comes a 1-2 to Maddox Solomon. And a little bit outside, 2-2. Well, Schmidt is staying on the outer third against Maddox. Which is not a terrible idea. Maddox Solomon continues to lead El Dorado. He's tied with Tanner Sheets with RBIs with 27. Here's the pitch, and Solomon hits this one out into right center field. Drifting back is Eager. He's got a good arm. He's got the catch. Anstandig tagging. Here comes the throw. It's right on the base, but Anstandig is in, and Tanner Sheets tagged up, and he moves up to second. So 2 away, and here comes Aaron Mack. Mack has the big blast tonight, a 3-run home run last inning. He comes up with 2 runners on again. For Aaron Mack, he came into tonight's play with 1 RBI. He now has 4. And a chance for 6, maybe 7. And a curveball in there for strike 1. Three pitchers up here in the press box. Brennan White, Brady Tackett, Dylan Zenzel. 3 good arms to our disposal up here. Whenever Gary wants him to send him in, he'll just raise that right arm. Another curveball in there for a strike. Curve or a slider there, gentlemen? Slider. Brendan, your mom sent me pictures of you as a catcher, by the way. Yeah, those were fun to see. Here's an 0-2. Fastball, and it's lifted onto shallow center coming in, and both outfielders, and Bland just cut in front of Belaurier to make a catch. They avoided a collision, thankfully, and that ends the inning. Well, a good start to the inning. Comes up empty for El Dorado. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We go to the 5th, 7-4 El Dorado. Top of the order for the Derby Twins here in the top of the 5th. 7-4 El Dorado. And Noah Bland leading off. And he looks at strike 1. Bland, his last at bat, squared to bunt to put himself in an 0-2 hole after a foul ball. And all he did was then deposit the next pitch out of the yard for a 2-run homer that gave Derby a 4-0 lead at the time. No balls and 2 strikes here to Bland. And the pitch from Souza. Fastball outside, 1-2. The 1-2. Low, 2-2. Jason Anstandig, coming off the lake. He'd rather watch the game on the TV with a ice-cold beverage. Why not? Good to have you tuned in tonight, Jason, and all the Anstandigs. Souza goes low, and Bland works at full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 3-2. Bland hits it sharply out to right field, but right at Austin Toth, and he's got the catch for the first out. Good wood on the ball there by Bland, but right at Toth. If that's hit 5 feet one way or the other, it's probably a double. Yeah, El Dorado had a lot of hard-hit balls that found Derby twin leather. Charles Parrish enjoying tonight's game from Lansing, Michigan. There's a good shot by Mendoza out to left. Anstandig back. That will leave the yard. A home run for Tyler Mendoza. Good swing on that one, and that makes it 7-5. Charles Parrish, Dylan Zenzel's grandfather. I wish we could put Dylan on the camera. I could, but most of the folks probably want to see the game. There's probably a few that wouldn't mind just staring at Dylan. Thanks, Charles, for the email. A first pitch strike on the outer third to Colton Eager. Colton Eager, a .324 hitter. He's a good player. 33 hits, 102 at bats. Here's the 0-1 outside, 1-1. Eager has 9 doubles, tied for the team lead for the Twins. A couple of triples and a long ball. Derby coming into play and hit 20 homers, so add 2 to that. They've hit 2 tonight. Here's one bounding to short. Little Jim has it. Got a little help with a bounce off the mound. And Little Jim retires Eager. We've seen that several times this year. Balls up the middle. They hit that mound. I'm not saying Caleb wouldn't have had a chance if it didn't hit it, but that certainly made it a little easier. Took a little steam off it. Here's Marcus Page. He's 0 for 2. Has gone to third base each time. This one is hit swiftly to center field. A 2-out single. And that'll bring up Houston Parker, who has grounded out to Caleb Little Jim at short twice tonight. One in for Derby, 7-5 Broncos, top of the 5th. Good lead over at first by Page. The pitch is high, 1-0. Page, it looks like, has 1 stolen base this summer. The 1-0, and that's fouled out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Parker lifts this one into shallow right. Toth started back, now coming in and makes the catch for the 3rd out. A run on 2 hits, 1 left. We're halfway through from El Dorado. Broncos 7, Twins 5. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Bottom of the fifth inning, new pitcher for the Derby Twins is Hunter Moody, 6'6", 215. Is he really 6'6"? He's out of Marietta, Georgia. He goes to Georgia Highlands. And the first pitch out of the zone, 1-0. Yeah, I haven't heard of Georgia Highlands either. Moody, his 10th game, 8 times in relief. That pitch at the knees for a strike, 1-1. 15 and a third innings of work for Moody. He's given up 20 hits, 19 earned runs. Bouncing in, 2-1. 12 walks, 18 strikeouts for Moody. He comes in with a record of 0-2 and an ERA of 11.15. Final numbers for Schmidt. He goes 2 innings. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Pete Caravala at the plate for El Dorado, 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch, Caravala, good cut, fouled it straight back, 2-2. The run is earned. So all runs given up by Schmidt are earned tonight. And bouncing in, 3-2 to Caravala. Bottom of the fifth for the Broncos, leading 7-5. And that pitch low, and Pete Caravala ties Jordan Anstendig for the team lead in walks. The Alma Scots battling for the walk lead. Tucker Catlett's 1 for 2 tonight, a double and a strikeout. Well, the second baseman, Mercado, really playing close to second. And of course, with Page holding the runner on, there's a nice hole on the right side. A bunt that way might be a difficult play. What does Toby Reuter want to do here? Catlett squares, looks at a fastball low, 1-0. Third baseman Mendoza came in charging. Catlett again squares, bunts it towards the pitcher Moody. He's got it. Look at second. He'll throw to first. Low. Nice pick there by Page. And a sacrifice for Catlett. Moving to second is Pete Caravala. Solomon and Gabe Littlejim, the first 2 out of the dugout, to offer congrats to Tucker Catlett, who laid down a successful sacrifice. Quality at bat, that's right. Mark Solomon wondering on Saturday when the first game of the doubleheader will start. At least here at home, I know they start at 6, but I've seen some start at 5. Dodge City. Here's a pitch to Toth, fouled out of play. So Dodge City games, Gary's been there many times. They start their games at 7:30, except for Sunday. They'll go a little bit early on Sunday. Otherwise, so Friday night will be a 7:30 start. Here's the 0-1. Toth, a swing and a miss. Good pitch by Moody, 0-2. Saturday, we're guessing. It's an educated guess, but guessing that it'll start at 6 o'clock. Mark Solomon will be in attendance. He's going to Dodge City. Gary will take all the friendly faces he can take. Here's the 0-2. Nice movement by Parker. Stops that one, 1-2. Gary's not hard to find. He's the one with all the notebooks and papers around. Do you sit in the press box at Dodge? No. Toth hits it sharply to left field. Caravala held up just to make sure that line drive was through. So runners at first and third. Austin Toth is 2 for 3 tonight. So here's Caleb Littlejim. Mark Solomon is asking if he should bring you some ice cream. Yeah, why not? Gary's not opposed to ice cream. Or custard, whatever they have. I don't know if they have ice cream or custard in Dodge. Littlejim shoots it out into center field, a base hit. Caravala will score, and a little bobble in center field, trying to go to third, and doing it is Toth. Back to first safely is Littlejim. No error on the play. Aggressive base running, Austin Toth. So Caravala scores first hit of the night for Caleb Littlejim, an RBI, and it's 8-5 El Dorado. Len Caravala is watching and rooting from Sharonville, Ohio tonight. Yeah, you might get, Gary, who normally kind of frown. When I mentioned going out west, Gary usually gets a frown on his face, and then here's Littlejim on the move. The throw goes down to second. No one's really covering. That'll be an easy run home for Toth. That's a double steal, right? Yeah, double steal. Toth scores. No one covered second. Not a bad throw by Parker, but obviously some miscommunication on who was supposed to cover second.
Well, that's got to be an error.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's a stolen base.
Well, I guess we can get it a stolen base.
Double steal. The throw went down. Toth took off and pitch in there for a strike to Jordan Anstandig. It's 0-2. Broncos lead 9-5. The 0-2. And Anstandig, did he check his swing? No call from the umpire. And now a throw down to first. Anstandig is there. The umpire did not make a definitive call there. Jordan took off. I think he knew he looked like he swung. Marcus Page was not covering first. Parker was waiting for him to cover. So that's a strikeout. But getting to first, is there an error there, Gary? Or
No, it can't be. It's a wild pitch. Because it went into third.
So here's Tanner Sheets, one away. Sheets is 3 for 3 tonight. The pitch from Moody, and Sheets fouls this one out. Ben Reuter, watching and listening, says, keep that line moving. That's what El Dorado's doing. The line is moving. Littlejim at second, Anstandig at first. And again, another heady play by Jordan Anstandig. He took off.
He didn't wait.
Pitch is just out of the zone, 1-1. And the pitch, and Sheets fouled it right there at the plate, and it's 1-2. I think he fouled it. The catcher was ready to throw. Maybe he didn't foul it. Nonetheless, it's 1-2 here to Sheets. Sheets 3 for 3. 3 singles, 1 run scored. 9-5 El Dorado, bottom of the 5th. And Sheets bounces this one to third and just foul.
Well, it's a good thing Littlejim stole second. Otherwise, Anstey would have been out.
Yep.
First base is up.
Good heady play by Littlejim. Runners at first and third. The steal, double steal, scores Toth. Leaves first base open for Anstandig to take. Sheets hits this one a ton out to left field, and that's going to be over the left fielder's head, up against the wall. Littlejim rounding third. Here he comes. He will score. Anstandig will stay at second. The runners held up just to see if it was going to be caught, and Sheets very nearly had a 3-run homer. Instead, a 4th single of the night for Tanner Sheets. Anstandig moves to second. Littlejim scores, and we'll get a mound visit as El Dorado is hitting it hard right now, 10-5 in favor of the Broncos. Mark Solomon is wondering how he'll recognize you, Gary. I feel like Gary's the most recognizable person in the yard. Just look for the guy with all the papers and notebooks and everything in front of him. The Broncos here in this inning have 3 hits, 3 runs, 14 for 19 at moving runners. Gary's in full celebration mode. John Sorensen looks at ball 1. The only out of the inning was a sacrifice bunt by Tucker Catlett. The 1-0 and hit through the hole on the right side. Good effort by Mercado, but came up empty. Here comes Eager with a strong throw to home, and it bounced away from Parker. Anstandig scores, Sheets to third, and on the throw, Sorensen goes to second. Colton Eager twice tonight has had throws right where they had to be, but they haven't been gloved. So Sorensen gets an RBI. And it's 11-5 El Dorado. And here's Maddox Solomon, who's 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and 2 runs scored. And he's first pitch swinging into the hole, a base hit. Sheets will score. Staying at third will be Sorensen. And it's 12-5 El Dorado. Moving the line and station to station here for the Broncos. And that'll be it for Moody, who was only able to get 1 out here in the 5th. 5 are already in. 12-5 Broncos. New pitcher. We'll tell you about him in a moment here on YouTube. Aaron Mack will be greeted by the new pitcher, Brady Barker, who pitched last night for Derby. And Mack, first pitch swinging, had a good cut. He fouled it off. So for Moody, he goes a third of an inning, gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He's given up 5 runs. The 2 on base are his responsibility. Aaron Mack is the 9th batter of the inning. 1 for 3 with a 3-run homer. And the 0-1 from Barker hit a ton out to right, but hooking and foul. That started on the line and just too much out in front of that one. A long strike as far as Barker is concerned. No balls and 2 strikes. 12-5 El Dorado on the move. And that pitch hit Mack. So no stolen base for Solomon, I don't think, or is it?
That's the first time he's been hit. Remember, he was a magnet.
That's Aaron Mack's first hit by pitch. We have a lot of new folks watching this year. Aaron Mack last year was Jarrett Coyne last year. So Pete Caravala, with Dad watching in Ohio, is up there with the bases loaded. And Caravala hits one out into center field. Bland going back, still going back to the wall. Gone! A grand slam! Pete Caravala to center field. And that makes it 16-5. Fourth home run of the night, 2 for each team. But El Dorado's home runs have been a 3-run homer and now a 4-run homer.
Well, that ought to make Daddy happy.
Len, I'm sure that had to be fun to watch. I hope to see that clip edited and put on Facebook or anywhere on social media. First pitch is a strike to Tucker Catlett, who the only out of the inning was his sacrifice bunt. And that one out of the zone. 1-1. Brady Barker, 6'5", 195 from Woodstock, Georgia. He also goes to Georgia Highlands. And the pitch to Catlett, a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Catlett. Right-handed pitcher, Brady Barker, the pitch. And Catlett serves it into center field, a base hit. So lots of offense here for El Dorado. I'm going to say it. It's eerily similar to that 22 batter inning that we had earlier this year, Gary. You remember that one, 22? Austin Toth up there. And the first pitch, a fastball strike. Toth, 2 for 3, a double, single, run scored, and an RBI tonight. Toth is the 12th batter of the inning, and he slices this one foul. And 0-2. One away for El Dorado. 9 have scored. And Toth popped this one up into shallow left. Long run for Belaurier, and it's the shortstop, Craig, who gets out there and makes a nice catch in fair territory. So 2 away, and here comes Caleb Littlejim. Good to see Jarrett Coyne up here. We don't ever get to see Jarrett in the press box. He's going to leave us now. Caleb Littlejim, his last at bat in this inning was a single. He stole a very important base, drove in a run, and then scored. And he looks at strike 1. Caleb tonight 1 for 4. El Dorado has 17 hits. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the pitch, and Littlejim rolls it over to Craig at short with the backhand, goes the short way, and able to retire a sliding Tucker Catlett. What an inning for El Dorado, highlighted by Pete Caravala's grand slam. 9 runs in for the Broncos. We go to the 6th inning. El Dorado 16, Derby 5. A 9-run fifth inning for the Broncos. They had a 5-run third, and they lead by 11. Frank Souza goes 5. His night is done. And Connor Peterson will face Torrin Craig to start off. And the 0-1 to Craig, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Craig tonight 0 for 2. Frank Souza in line for a win here tonight, and Peterson misses 1 and 2. Connor Peterson from Wichita goes to Cloud County, 6'2", 220. The 1-2, low, 2 and 2. Two pitch from Peterson, close but missing, 3 and 2. Souza tonight gave up 5 runs on 6 hits, couple of homers. He walked 1, no strikeouts. And Craig hits it hard off the backhand glove by Sorensen. Tough play, probably a hit. That would have been a terrific play by Sorensen. Instead, it's a leadoff single for Torrin Craig. Aaron Bellorier comes up. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. A couple of steals and a run scored. For Connor Peterson, 14 innings of work, 18 hits, 18 runs, 13 of them earned. That's in there for a strike. 18 walks and 8 strikeouts. And Connor's 0 for 2, 0 and 2 with 2 saves. He's got an ERA of 8.16. Aaron Bellorier, a 198 hitter this summer. And that pitch low, 1 and 1. 28th game for Bellorier, 17 hits, 86 at bats. A couple of doubles and a homer. He has scored 17 times, driven in 12. And the 1-1, low, 2 and 1. Hayesville leading Hayes 6-2 in the 5th inning. A little bit of a surprise there. Hayes has a magic number of 3. And this one popped out into shallow center field. Caravala coming in. He will make the catch for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Zach Smith. Zach Smith has a double tonight, a 2-out double back in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Peterson outside. Nice catch there by Mack with the backhand, 1-0. And this one's hit over Callett's head and into right center field. Toth has it, throws quickly to second. That'll limit Smith to a single, but that will move Craig over to third. And here comes Ruben Mercado. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. (16-5) El Dorado, still top of the 6th inning. Curveball in there for a strike. Got our Bronco pitchers up here, Brady Tackett, Brennan White, and Dylan Zenzel. Guys, I just see it's official. Manny Machado to the Dodgers. You big fan, no fan, don't care? Grounded to Little Jim at short. He'll flip it to second to Catlett for 1, over to first. Double play. A 6-4-3 double play gets the Broncos out of some trouble here in the 6th. No runs on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Broncos 16 and the Twins 5. Bottom of the 6th inning. Tell you what, Caleb Littlejim at short, boy, when those balls are, he's got a nice quick flip over to second, gave Catlett a perfect throw, plenty of time to get the out, and then fire over to first. Jordan and Standig. Yeah, you're right, Gary. Jordan has led off. He led off the 3rd, the 4th, and now here in the 6th. And Standig, first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play. Jordan tonight grounded out to second, walked and scored, singled, struck out, but reached base when the first baseman, Page, was not there to cover a throw, and Jordan eventually scored. So 2 runs tonight for Standig, and he's down in the count 0-2 to Barker. No balls, 2 strikes. And outside, 1-2. Hit the target right where Barker wanted to throw it. A few clouds up above, pretty nice night. No wind really at all. And the ball is traveling, and Standig spoils that pitch, still 1-2. Appreciate the photos that Donna Hershey has been sending me. Love those. And Jason Standig. And Jordan flips this one into the Bronco bullpen. He's staying alive, battling as usual. Doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 16-5. He will always give you a quality at bat, that's for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch outside, 2-2. Appreciate all the emails and the comments. This is a fun night here at the old ball yard. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Standig. And again, fouling it off. 8th pitch of the at-bat here for Jordan. And Barker still has 1 to play with, 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Moody. The ball's at the feet of Parker. Now he's got on the foul tip, they call. Foul tip. Was it? It was. Dylan Zenzel says it was a foul ball. The way Parker reacted, generally, if a catcher's going to know more than anyone. Jordan didn't think he foul tipped it. He was running. The catcher was looking for it, looking to throw him out. But the umpire said, and Dylan Zenzel say foul ball. 9th pitch, 2-2, and outside. And on the 10th pitch coming up, it's a 3-2 count. Some more action down in the Derby bullpen. They've gone with mainly relievers here tonight. They're trying to save those starters for that big series in Liberal. 3-2, and up the middle, right back at the pitcher. Bobbled for a moment. Barker recovers over to first, and they retire Standig. Well, 10-pitch battle won by Barker. And that'll bring up Tanner Sheets. All he's done tonight is go 4 for 4. 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Don Sheets, keep me up to date. Dodge and Liberal still tied at 1. They're cruising. They're in the 8th inning. Of course, after listening to Brock Kappelman, who does Liberal games, they don't have many quick ones. And when they do, like they did here, we had a 9-inning game going 2 hours, but we were tied. So we played another hour, another 3 innings. They are on their way to that kind of fate here tonight, it looks like. In Liberal. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Tanner Sheets. And a swing and a miss. Pulled out a little bit on that, and Barker pulled a string on him. One ball and 2 strikes. And they set up outside. That's where Barker goes, 2-2. That's right. Tanner Sheets was leading the team in average coming in. And he knew it. He looks at strike 3. Good pitch there by Barker. Neither team has had very many strikeouts tonight. To my numbers, that is the 4th team strikeout for Derby pitching. And El Dorado pitching has not recorded a strikeout tonight, but they lead 16-5. Here's John Sorensen. And that's low, got through the glove of Parker, rolls to the backstop, 1-0. Sorensen 1 for 4 tonight, a couple runs scored. Actually, 1 for 3, had a sacrifice bunt, and he reached in the 3rd. And that fastball in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sorensen, a good cut, but Barker's able to throw it by him. So 1-2. And a swing and a miss. And for the first time tonight, the Broncos go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Good inning by Barker. We head to the 7th inning. El Dorado 16, Derby 5. So top of the 7th inning here from El Dorado, and the top of the order for the Derby Twins. Noah Bland looks at ball 1. Bland 1 for 3. His 2-run homer in the 2nd inning gave the Twins a 4-0 lead. And he looks at ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. And that one low, 3-0. So will Bland have a green light here on 3-0? The pitch. He does not. That was a good placed pitch by Peterson, 3-1. And Bland sawed off. He pops it into shallow right, and that one's a fair ball. It handcuffed Solomon. Catlett was racing over there, and it looked like it hit Maddox in the stomach, or I don't know if that was a funky looking play there. What does Gary feel like here? A hit or an error? That'll be a hit for Bland. So Tyler Mendoza, he had a solo homer his last time up. He's 2 for 3 tonight. And the first pitch from Peterson outside, 1-0. A good pitch by Connor to really get in on the hands of Bland. He fought it off down the right field. Right field line. It was behind first base into the grass. And Maddox just kind of got turned around the wrong way, I think. Here's a 1-0. And that one's hit a ton out to center field. Caravala going back to the track and off the wall. Caravala plays it off the wall nicely. It hits the cutoff Little Jim, and it's a double for Mendoza. So here comes Colton Eager. Colton Eager tonight 0 for 3, a couple of flyouts to left field and a ground ball to short. So the left-handed batter has gone the other way all 3 times tonight. Those were all against the starter tonight, Frank Souza, who went 5 for El Dorado. Little trouble early, but then was very good in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Eager goes right up the middle, a base hit. That's going to score 2. Caravala throws home, and no advance by Eager. A 2-run single by Colton. And that makes it 16-7. Still nobody out for the Twins, and here comes Marcus Page. Page is 1 for 3. The Twins had something going in the 6th inning, but a 6-4-3 double play got El Dorado out of trouble. Page on the pitch from Peterson, but fouled it back. Single, double, single for Derby. And the curveball stays high, 1-1. Peterson a throw over to first, and back in safely is Eager. And that pitch gets away from Mack. And it'll be a pass ball, and moving up to second base is Eager. Mack goes out to talk to Peterson. The Hayesville Aviators leading Hayes 8-4 in the 6th inning. Great Bend is the only team not in action tonight. Here's a sharp ball out to right field. Toth started in. It sails over his head. On his way to second is Page. Coming around third and coming in to score will be Eager. So 2 singles, 2 doubles for Derby here in the 7th. Still nobody out. And Houston Parker comes up. (16-8) El Dorado. 3 are in for the Twins. Parker 0 for 3 tonight. And the curveball in there for a strike. No lead ever feels terribly safe in our league. A lot of good players. And the 0-1. And whistled foul. Look out, coach, at the third base side. He got out of the way of that screamer. The third base coach, always tough. His attention is on the runner at second. And then I'm sure at the corner of his eye, we'll see the batter. And Parker whistled one just behind him. No balls and 2 strikes. And Parker fouls this one out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. And hit sharply to short. Little Jim, little bobble, and still can't get it out of his glove. That will be certainly a runner at first. No advance by Page. He had to wait and see what was going to happen there. And a sharp hit for Parker. One of those that I'm sure Little Jim would say probably should have had, but it was hit well, that's for sure. So 2 on and nobody out for Torrin Craig. He's 1 for 3. Craig was the first batter Peterson saw in the 6th inning, and he singled. Torrin Craig from Queen Creek, Arizona. The pitch in the turf, good stop by Mack, 1-1. Craig stands 5'11", 175, goes to South Mountain Community College. Torrin is a .269 hitter coming into play tonight. And the 1-1. Hit hard out into left field. Anstandig comes in, slides. He's able to get it on a hop, and the runners will move up 1 base, and they're loaded with nobody out. And we'll get a mound visit here from Coach Bashura. Bland started this inning with that ball off the fist that kind of handcuffed Solomon. Then Mendoza doubled, Eager singled, Page doubled, Parker hit that screamer out to short that Little Jim wasn't able to glove. So even though there hasn't been any errors given to El Dorado this inning, there's been 2 plays that really could have helped Connor Peterson. And it looks like the Bronco bullpen is going to get warm. Connor Allen is throwing. Ben Smith is down in the bullpen. And here's Aaron Belaurier. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Derby down 8, but bases loaded and nobody out. And the first pitch in is low, 1-0. The 1-0. Low. Mack keeps it close. No advance by Page over at third. But 2-0 now to Belaurier, who you would think would get something good to hit here. Two balls and no strikes. And the pitch, high, ball 3. Belaurier walked and scored in the 2nd inning, flew out to center field in the 4th and in the 6th. He's way in front here, 3-0. And pipe down the middle, 4-1, taking all the way was Belaurier. Big pitch here from Connor Peterson. 3 balls and 1 strike. 16-8 El Dorado. Broncos in desperate need of an out. And high, ball 4. So a freebie. (16-9) El Dorado. The 8th batter of the inning for the Twins. Still nobody out. Zach Smith is 2 for 3. Connor Allen continues to warm, not even on the bullpen mound. He's over here. Ben Smith is warming up down on the bullpen mound. Ben Smith appeared last night in the game. 4 already in for the Twins. And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Zach Smith. Zach Smith .278 hitter. He's driven in 14 for Derby. And hits this one out into right field. Toth started back, dives and makes the catch. And no advance from anyone. What a play by Toth. Started back, then used that good speed to get into a position to dive forward, made the catch. I'm surprised over at third that Parker wasn't tagging. So one away, and here's Ruben Mercado. Hit into a double play as last time. Boy, El Dorado would crave one of those again here. And the first pitch is into center, into right center field, a base hit. Toth comes up with it and throws it home. We're going to have a play at the plate and out at home. Torrin Craig is cut down trying to score. Parker did score. A single for Mercado and an RBI. Craig cut down 9-3-2. And back to the top of the order, Noah Bland. Five are in for Derby. They still have two out there. Belorier's at second, and Bland hits it a ton out to left, and that is gone, way out of here. And that cuts the deficit down to 3. The second homer of the night for Noah Bland. And that will be it for Connor Peterson. 8 runs have scored in the inning for Derby. We're in the 7th. El Dorado 16, Derby 13. New pitcher coming in. We'll tell you about him in a moment. Well, just when you thought maybe it might be one of those nights to put it on cruise control, the Derby Twins say just not so fast. An 8-run 7th to this point for the Twins. Base is empty. New pitcher is Ben Smith for El Dorado. And his first pitch, missing 1-0. For Connor Peterson, 1 2/3 of work, 8 runs, all earned, 8 hits. He walked 1 and no strikeouts. And a ball, and it's 2-0 from Smith. And don't forget, again, in the 6th inning, Derby had first and third with 1 out. But a 6-4-3 double play got the Broncos out of some trouble there. 5 homers tonight, 3 by Derby, 2 by El Dorado. Here's the 2-0. Outside, ball 3. This is Tyler Mendoza at the plate, who's looking for a cycle. He's 3 for 4 with a single, double, and a homer. 3 runs scored. And the 3-0 misses, and a 4-pitch walk to Mendoza, and here comes Colton Eager. (16-13) El Dorado. Is Brady Tackett on the scoreboard tonight? He's going to need some ice on his hand after all this. In the turf, 1-0. El Dorado has 16 runs, 17 hits, 2 errors. Derby has 13 runs, 14 hits, 1 error. So my quick math, 29 runs, 31 hits, and 3 errors. And there's a strike from Smith, 1-1. Ben Smith, 6'2", 195, out of Shirley, Arkansas. Goes to Arkansas Monticello. And the 1-1, Eager flips it out into shallow left. Little Jim going out, and Caleb Little Jim makes the catch. And that is the end of a productive inning for Derby. 8 runs on 8 hits in the inning for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch in El Dorado, 16-13 Broncos. Well, that was a 23-minute inning for the Twins. And they score 8 times, 16-13 our score. And a new pitcher for Derby is Marco Quintanar. Sunland, California, goes to Abilene Christian University. 6 foot, 195. And he will deal with Maddox Solomon, and there's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Solomon. Maddox 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Gary Carr is going to be doing a lot of adding to the offensive numbers tonight. And a swing and a miss. Good fastball by Quintanar. 1-2. Derby, by the way, has 16 hits. I misspoke earlier. Peterson ends up giving up 10 hits, 8 runs on 10 hits, and a curveball. Boy, that was a good pitch. Just missed. And Maddox wants to get something on that bat or get a different bat. Two balls and 2 strikes to Solomon. And a fastball out of the zone, and it's full. So a 3-2. Left-handed pitcher, Quintanar. And the pitch and a swing and a miss. The Parker dropped it, but he'll apply the tag, and Solomon is out on strikes. So here's Aaron Mack. 1 for 3, a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. He was hit by a pitch his last time. 7th game for Quintanar. He's gone 8 innings, given up 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts for Quintanar. And a first pitch miss, 1-0. No record for Quintanar, but he has a save and an ERA of 6.75. And the 5th pitcher used by Derby tonight. And look out. Ooh, that got Mack. And I thought that hit him in that back of the head. So a slow walk, now trotting down to first. Thank goodness for helmets. And thank goodness that didn't get him in just below the back of the helmet there in the neck. Caleb Honia is warming up down in the bullpen for Derby. And here's Pete Caravala. He is 2 for 3. He had a grand slam to center field his last time up, capping the 9-run 5th inning for El Dorado. Out of the zone, 1-0. I don't know how many nights, Gary, you're going to see one team with a 9-run inning and the other team with an 8-run inning. Don't usually see those numbers in the line score. One ball and no strikes here to Caravala. And fastball in there for strike 1. Pete Caravala now with 4 home runs this summer and 18 runs batted in. The 1-1 in there for strike 2. One away for El Dorado, bottom of the 7th, leading by 3. And that pitch a little bit low, 2-2. Both these teams hitting the road this weekend. 4 for El Dorado in Dodge City, 3 for Derby out in Liberal. And the 2-2. Fastball low, 3-2. So a full count, 1 away. Mack over at first. And that pitch low and a walk to Caravala. So time for Tucker Catlett now with 1 away. Tucker with a single and a double tonight. A sac bunt and a strikeout. Officially 2 for 3. And a swing and a miss, strike 1 for Catlett. Dodge City has beaten Liberal 3-1 tonight in Liberal. Dodge, yeah, they have, haven't they? They swept Liberal in a series. I know the BJs were at 1-5 against Dodge City. There's a ball that gets past the catcher, and the runners will move up. So a wild pitch for Quintanar. So the Broncos a chance to try to add on here. Infield is in for Derby. And Catlett sawed off and hits it behind first base, and that play is made by Page with the catch and a big out for the Twins, now 2 away. So here's Austin Toth. Toth 2 for 4, run scored and an RBI. And the first pitch in there, a strike by Quintanar. Outside, 1-1. Solomon led off the inning with a strikeout. Mack was hit in the back of the helmet. Carvalho walked. They move up on a wild pitch. Catlett popped out to first. Runners at second and third, 2 out. The pitch from Quintanar outside, 2-1. Caleb Littlegym waits on deck for the Broncos. Toth calls time. Quintanar going from the windup. And the pitch. And a swing and a miss. So 2-2 now on Austin Toth. Bottom of the 7th inning here from El Dorado. Deep breath by Quintanar. Now the 2-2, and Toth able to just get some wood on that and flip it down near the Derby bullpen. Two and two. Here's the pitch. And Toth fouled it, hit him while he was in the box. We'll do it again. And another 2-2 on the way. And a curveball in there for strike 3. Nice pitch by Quintanar. Broncos strand 2 in scoring position. We head to the 8th inning. Broncos lead 16-13. Well, a game with lots of ebb and flow. Started out Derby's way up 4-0. Then the Broncos caught fire and hitting balls everywhere. Took a 16-5 lead. Then here comes Derby, and the Twins scored 8 to make it 16-13. They get a shutdown inning in the bottom of the 7th, and here they are in the 8th. Marcus Page leading it off. He's 2 for 4 tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ben Smith. Came up and cleaned up the bottom of the 7th, or the top of the 7th inning. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball low, 3-1. Ben Smith this summer, 18 innings of work, an 8.35 ERA, giving up 25 hits. And there's one off the fencing, and it's 3-2. 14 walks, 9 strikeouts. He's got 1 win, 1 loss, and 3 saves. The number that scares you with Ben is giving up 5 homers. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The leadoff batter of the 8th, and a bouncer coming into Sorensen. He's gloving it, throw to first, and safe. Page beat it out. Close play. Umpire had a great look at it, and he says Page is in there. So a leadoff runner for the Twins. Yeah, there's been, I think so, 3 infield hits. Here's Parker and a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Houston Parker was 0 for 3 before a single in the 7th inning. Came around and scored. So 1 for 4 tonight. The 0-1. Parker stood in there, thought maybe he'd wear one on the left side, but it missed him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Page off of first. Parker hits a screamer, fouled on the left field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I think Aaron Mack wisely called time because Jordan Anstandig, who was racing over, got the ball, was still walking back to his position, and Ben was ready to pitch. And Parker again down the third base side, and again foul, and again it ricochets into fair territory. So one of the Broncos run over there to retrieve that. And another 1-2, and going the other way, and foul is Parker. Good at bat here by Houston Parker. Page at first with an infield single. And the pitch from Smith, and again Parker. This one goes into the Derby bullpen. Another 1-2. And drop the splitter on him for strike 3. So 1 away for the Twins, and here comes Torrin Craig. Craig 2 for 4 tonight. As this game has gotten tighter, how big was that 9-3-2 putout to get Craig at the plate just before? Not too far in front of the 3-run homer by Noah Bland. First pitch out of the zone. 1-0 to Craig. The pitch and a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Derby has won both games here in El Dorado. El Dorado had won both games in Derby until last night when the Twins won. Page is on the go. Smith with a strike and the throw down to second. Safe. So a stolen base. It'll be 1-2 to Torrin Craig. Aaron Belaurier waiting on deck. And Mac wants to go talk with Ben Smith. Torrin Craig coming into play tonight, a .269 hitter. And a 1-2 pitch with Page at second in the turf. It'll go to the backstop, and Page will go to third. Probably a wild pitch there. And a fastball just off the corner, 3-2. The 3-2 from Ben Smith. Swing and a miss, strike three. Big strikeout for Ben, who has not been known for his strikeouts this summer, but two big ones here in the eighth. And two last night. So here's Aaron Belaurier. 0 for 2 with 2 walks, and each time he's walked, he's come around to score. It was an RBI walk last time as the bases were loaded. Smith misses. Thank you, Don Sheets, for all the updates tonight. And the 1-0. A little bit outside, 2-0. Fastball just misses, 3-0. That one in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to Belaurier. The 3-1 and fouled out of play, and Smith works it back to a full count now. You know, today is National Hot Dog Day. All the hot dogs I've eaten this summer, I didn't have one today. At ball 4. So the tying run will come to the plate for Derby. In the bat of Zach Smith. And Smith swinging at the first offering, fouls it off. Runners at first and third for the Twins. And swinging and missing way out in front was Smith. Was that the split? No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch over the head, and indifference on that, or Belaurier takes second wisely. Broncos were giving it up. They've got their attention on Zach Smith. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smith will step out. Zach Smith against Ben Smith. And the 1-2 inside off the glove, and Page was going to go. The runner off second was Belaurier. He went a long way to third and then saw that Page had stopped, and so Belaurier hustled back. That was almost a freebie for the Twins. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, El Dorado leads by 3. 2 runners in scoring position for the Twins. And time called again. And the 2-2. And Smith able to reach out and not take a chance. He fouls that one out of play. Zach Smith, 5'10", 175 from Abilene, Texas. Goes to Abilene Christian University. Another 2-2. High drama here in El Dorado. The pitch. And Smith fouls it out of play. Tell you what, both teams have really put some good at-bats up there. Another 2-2. And again fouled. Yep, that will get out of play. Down the right side. Wonder how many baseballs end up out there by the metal buildings. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Smith, the pitch. And dropped in a splitter and struck him out. He went on the inner third that time after working the outer third. He ends up striking out the side. 1 walk, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. El Dorado 16, Derby 13. Bottom of the 8th inning, new pitcher for the Derby Twins, Caleb Honia. 6 foot, 195. From Queen Creek, Arizona, Chandler Gilbert Community College. And Little Jim, first pitch swinging, hits it over to Mendoza at third, throw to first, and Little Jim is retired. So one away, and here's Jordan Anstandig. Jordan officially tonight is 1 for 4. And the first pitch in there for a strike. Honey has been really good for Derby. This is his 13th game, 19 2/3 innings of work, 13 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks in 19 innings, and 19 strikeouts. He's got a record of 2-1 with 1 save, and he's in the zone again for strike 2. An ERA of 2.28. And the 6th pitcher tonight for the Twins. And good eye by Jordan. That was close, 1-2. Frank Souza still in line for a win, and Jesse Schmidt would be in line for a loss if things stay how they are. Here's the 1-2. High, 2-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. So here comes Tanner Sheets. 4 for 5 tonight. 4 singles, 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Just missed a home run off the left field wall on one of those singles. And first pitch in there, that looked like a slider. Brennan White approves of that call. No balls and a strike to Sheets. And a foul tip at the plate, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes from Caleb Honia. And Sheets able to foul that one off. Derby will have 9-1-2 coming up in the 9th. The good news with that is Noah Bland, who has 2 homers and 5 RBIs, could only, at best, hit a 2-run shot if he got up there, if you're a Bronco fan. Sure, we have some Derby fans watching and listening tonight as well. And the 0-2, high, 1-2. Sheets with a swing and a miss. The tag is applied. And a very efficient 8th inning for Caleb Honia. Couple of strikeouts. We go to the 9th inning. Broncos 16, Twins 13. New pitcher for El Dorado is Maddox Solomon. Broncos lead 16-13. Vitally important game for both teams here tonight. Liberal has lost. And a first pitch ball to Ruben Mercado. He's 2 for 4 tonight, 2 runs scored and an RBI. And the 1-0, low 2-0. Well, Hayes is battling back, down 8-6 in the bottom of the 7th against Hayesville. Solomon out of the zone, 3-0. Maddox has 12 innings of work this summer, 4 walks, 18 strikeouts. The 3-0 is in there for a strike, 3-1. Solomon with a 1-win, 1-loss record, 2 saves. This is a save situation. The 3-1, outside, ball 4. A rare walk by Solomon. And here comes a very tough hitter, Noah Bland. 2-run homer in the second gave the Twins a 4-0 lead. And a 3-run homer in the 7th made it 16-13, got the Twins back within 3. And he did, I thought he looked familiar. Played last year for Derby. And he looks at ball 1 inside from Solomon. 3 for 5 tonight is Bland with 3 runs scored and 5 RBIs. I'll bet the Twins are happy to have him back for this stretch run. Inside corner, strike 1. Ken Jarrett, the head coach for Derby. Toby Reuter for the Broncos. Here's a 1-1. And a bouncer towards short. Little Jim over to second for 1 to first. Safe. Ooh, that was close. The high hop probably hurt the Broncos in their chances to turn it, but they get an out and they get a tough hitter out, or they get the lead runner out. And Bland is at first on a fielder's choice. Here's another good hitter, and Tyler Mendoza. Mendoza tonight is 3 for 4 with a single, double, and a homer. And swing and a miss. That's some high gas. 0-1. Mendoza, just a 241 hitter, but boy, he looks good. He's got 2 home runs this summer, now 3, I should say. There's a foul ball off the netting, and Solomon quickly ahead 0-2. The 0-2, a little bit low. Trying to figure out the Broncos defense because Solomon leaves first. I think John Sorensen is now at first base. Who do we have at third, guys? Catlett goes to third. Who's at second? Sheets was DH, and now he's at second base. Okay. Here comes a 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout. Second out of the inning. And here is Colton Eager. 324 hitter this summer. He's 1 for 5 tonight. A 2 RBI single in the 7th inning. Tanner Sheets at second. Catlett's at third. There's a foul tip. Yes, he has. That was took the ball at second from Little Jim. So no balls and a strike to Colton Eager. And a swing and a miss, and Solomon is dialed in after a leadoff walk to Mercado. Induced a ground ball to Bland, struck out Mendoza, and he's 0-2 on Eager. A win for the Broncos, and the season series would be tied at 3 apiece, with each team winning 2 on the other team's field. Brady Tackett had that one of those wins at Derby, a 3-2 win. Here comes an 0-2 to Colton Eager. And the pitch outside, 1-2. No coverage on my end for the Broncos this weekend at Dodge City, but I searched the Dodge City website and see they may have some either audio broadcast or video. I'm not for sure. Is it iScore? Dodge City uses the iScore. Here's the 1-2. High, 2-2. For the Derby fans watching tonight, I know that Liberal Brock Kappelman will be broadcasting out there for their series. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one not done yet. Colton Eager up there battling. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 9th. Bland is at first. The pitch is fouled back. Didn't get a lot of that one, but enough to see another pitch. Our next broadcast will be here Monday with Hayesville. Here comes a 2-2. And Eager goes the other way, but this one's going to slice foul into the Bronco bullpen harmlessly. So off day tomorrow, Friday, 7:30. Remember the start times, 7:30 Friday. We think 6 o'clock. And then whenever the first game's done, another 20 minutes after that on Saturday, doubleheader Saturday, and then 7 o'clock Sunday night. Back here Monday night for Hayesville. Here's the 2-2. Bland on the move, and that pitch, Solomon thought he had it. I think indifference on the runner at second. Broncos not worried about Bland. And Eager with a terrific eye there. That was a close pitch. 3-2. Solomon with a look in. And the pitch. Inside and high and a walk. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate for Derby. Marcus Page. Credit Eager there. He fell down 0-2 quickly in that at bat. Fouled off a pitch or two. Had a good eye on a close 2-2 pitch and takes first. Marcus Page reached on an air, grounded out to third, and then singled, doubled, and singled. He's getting hot up there. And hits this one towards Sheets at second. Tanner will glove it, touch the base, and that's the ball game. And the El Dorado Broncos fall last night 8-3. They come back tonight, and they survive this one tonight against the Twins. Our final score is El Dorado 16, Derby 13. For the Broncos tonight, 16 runs, 17 hits, 2 errors. Derby, 13 runs, 17 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher is Frank Souza. And the losing pitcher to my numbers is Jesse Schmidt. Maddox Solomon picks up the save for the Broncos. Time of tonight's game, 2 hours and 57 minutes. A game that featured a 5-run third for El Dorado, a 9-run fifth, and the Twins had an 8-run 7th inning. A lot of offense here tonight. Gary will be up past midnight figuring up all the numbers, I'm sure. 16-13, El Dorado wins. The Broncos are now 14-16 in league play. Derby, 17-15. Both teams have long road trips. El Dorado traveling to Dodge City for 4. Derby will be in Liberal for 3. Our next broadcast, Monday night, 7 o'clock. It'll be our final broadcast of the summer. Hayesville comes to El Dorado on Monday night. We hope you'll tune in, and I sure do appreciate all the comments on the chat here, all the emails. I got a ton of emails, some photos. A lot of fun visiting with all of you tonight, and hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Wish the Broncos well this weekend. We'll talk to you Monday night. This is Kurt Caden bidding you good night from El Dorado.